All right, Nation. Really appreciate everybody for tuning in. Let's talk about the possible no season. Of course, we'll throw in Jadeveon Clowney to the Cowboys as well. The possible no season situation. They canceled the first preseason game. There could be a preemptive strike to the league of letting everybody know that, hey, the football don't have all of their affairs in order, or they don't have any proper planning in order for this game to occur. Or they could be looking at it like, hey, let's see how this basketball situation go. And let's see if we can formulate something from there. That's the only way that I can see it. I really feel that somehow that all of this stuff, they will find a way. Let me repeat, somehow after all of this stuff, they will find a way to still have this magnificent season. Too many things are going right for us, especially the Dallas Cowboys fans, right? First and foremost, they already making t-shirts out there saying that they survived the Jason Garrett era. And on top of that, we finally made some moves during the offseason. We looked at the front four. We helped that out. And when you think about it, they finally went with BPA. BPA, best player available, baby. That's what they did. And they didn't go out there and did the classic this and that stuff with the Dallas Cowboys. We dripping silver and blue. Nevertheless, it just seems like this year, one thing after another, continually to happen. As it relates to being diehard Cowboys fans, we look at this thing and say, man, can we just see some type of sport activity with the football? Whether it be one-on-ones with the rookies, 5-on-5 drills or 7-on-7 or something like that, so that we can just get a grips of the reality of football. Nevertheless, it's been a waiting game now. It's been one of those things where as we sit back and say, man, oh man, oh man. Now, the craziest thing of it all is sometimes in life, you sit back and you think about all of the goals you accomplished. You think about all of the situations that you occurred in life, and then you found a way to overcome those particular situations. You say to yourself, man, I wanted to make my first $100, right? Then you made that, and then you sit back and said, man, it's easy to make $100. Then you say to yourself, I want to make 1,000. And now you made 1,000. But let's move our mind and shift our minds to these multi-millionaires that's running out there playing a sport like a gladiator type of sport. That's why I always say, this is Sparta, baby. This is war, right? Let's push our minds to these things. Jadeveon Clowney. News out there that he turned down 18 mil, right? He turned down 15 mil that another team was throwing at him. He said that, okay, it's not about the money. I want to go to a team that is a contender. I want to go to a team that I can feel like a winner again, right? That's what he's saying, basically. Now, he narrowed it down to the Saints and the Dallas Cowboys, the mighty Dallas Cowboys, by the way. Now, both of us and the Saints, we don't have a lot of money. We don't have a lot of remunerations. We don't have that crazy cap number that if he's looking for 20 million, if he's looking for 17 or 18 million, it'll be hard for us to shake that money tree and having some money or leaves to fall out, that particular branches to fall into his pocket. We don't have that type of capital to spend, dare I say. So the craziest thing of it all, like I said, sometimes in life, you realize it's not about the money. It's about the hardware. It's about the legacy. Now, of course, production is everything. And we can look back at Jadeveon Clowney and say, well, he's never been a high sack guy, but he's been an impact player. He had 9.5 sacks as his highest total in his in his professional career. I'm about to say collegiate, but neither here nor there. My thing is with Jadeveon Clowney is he is a great guy to have the opposition to think about what they're going to do the day before, maybe the week before, because you're really not going to just say, okay, I'm just going to one-on-one this guy, right? You're going to have some safety protocols put into place, because he does bring that type of attention out there. He's pretty good against the run. My bad. He's very solid against the run. He's a guy that you can rely on against the run. And if you think about it, for the Dallas Cowboys, if they still dragging their feet with the Randy Gregory, and if they still not 1,000% sure on the Aldon Smith kid, what they can do is still insert him. Only if the price is right. And I ain't talking about the show. Only if we can look at this thing and say, well, you know what? When you think about it, if he come in as a rotational guy, we do know that he only had 3 sacks last year, right? 3 of them, not a lot. But he was an impact, an enforcer, a guy that was able to call some attention. Last I checked, did he knock Carson Wentz out of the playoff game? Oh, were they calling him dirty? I'm not saying you pick him up just for those purposes, but I will say that you will pick him up for those purposes, not to knock people out of the game, but to be that driving force, that impact guy, that person that can really make teams think and say to themselves, man, this guy, we still have to account for him, regardless of what it is. Now, teams can be foolish and say, well, we really don't have to pay attention to him. He's Jadeveon Clowney. He's been a wash his entire career. He never had 10 sacks. He really don't do this and he really don't do that. Health has been an issue with him, and these sort of things have been an issue. And we can just gloss over him. No. You look at this team, you pick him up if, and I'm using a big IF, if the price is cheap. Sometimes favor falls right into your lap. And sometimes players realize it's not about the money. It's not about the cash. On top of that, I kid you not, $9 to $10 million in Big D is worth more than $20 million in Cleveland land. Low key, I can really say that with the advantages of the no state taxes and things like that you could probably stretch some things out, But property taxes or something else in Texas, that's a story of a different day. Maybe I should start a political law channel. We could talk about that on another day. I will say this, if players can just understand this concept though, when you put on the silver and blue and all you have to do is just wear that jersey, probably 1 week, you would see the difference. When you put on that silver and blue, the marketing, the post-career situation will open up. Ask Marcus Spears. Ask the other guy that be on Get Up in the Morning. Marcellus Wallace. Whatever team that he went to beyond the Cowboys, but everybody will still remember him for playing for the Dallas Cowboys. And look, he's still on TV. I think he's on Fox. But it's not a time to point out all of the people that used to play for the Cowboys that somehow, one way or another, find a way to be on TV. I even saw a couple of weeks ago, Bobby Carpenter is on somebody's network. So that's the power of the Dallas Cowboys brand. Now, I will say for the Saints out there, if he so happened to go to that team, that front four is nasty too. He will fit right on in, and they got a great situation with their linebackers. Let me repeat, they got a great situation with their linebackers, so he will fit within the confines of the Saints just as good. Here's the thing, from the geographical location part of it, he played several years for the Texans. Dallas is not that far away from the Texans, for the Houston Texans, so I do know that, geographically speaking, that maybe Dallas could be an area where he kind of like, man, I'm considering Dallas because I want to get back to those roots area. Although he's from Carolina, wherever he's from, he probably, got some family and stuff, or got some stuff as it relates to off business or side business over there in Texas that playing for Dallas will help him out in the long run. Whatever it may be. Now, I do know New Orleans is not that far away from Houston, but you guys get what I'm saying, right? So a lot of this stuff goes hand to hand. I think, me just speaking and thinking out loud, right? is that the more the merrier. You can never have too many defensive edge guys, too many skilled guys on that edge. Of course, I like the Bradley and Nyes. Of course, I like what even Dorrance Armstrong can bring to the table. I love those guys. I'm loving those guys that's on the low end of Joe Jacksons of the world. Not selling or denigrating those boys, but I'm looking at it like, hey, business is business. Let's bring in more heat, steel sharpen steel, iron sharpen iron type of groove. And here's the other thing, Cowboy Nation. Here's the other thing. When you really look at it, why not? Because Jadeveon Clowney at $20 million is like a hard hell no, right? At $15 million, you're like, man, this dude crazy. I'm not finna spend $15 million for 1 year. But 11, but 10, all right, we'll see what we can do to move around and see if we can get you out here on the field or what have you. For 10 mil, I think that you can move, and don't look at the cap. I don't want people to go into this thing and say, well, if you look at this, Law, and if we below the cap on that and we don't have enough money, you always have enough money. You always have enough money. You always can move stuff around. You can just take that stuff and just move it all around. It can happen. It can flat out happen. I just say this right quick, is that you got to be prepared. It's better to be prepared for an opportunity and not have one than to have an opportunity and not be prepared. When you think about it, defense win what? Defense win what? Defense win championships. So you got to figure out a way to just improve and better your best. Continue to look under every stone. I do know the hard number is 3 sacks, but from last season, and you're only good as your last season, but you got to look at every context of the game. I want people to stop looking at sacks as the end all be all. Look at QB pressure. Look at the way that they stopped the pursuit of the run. Look at how many nights the defensive coordinator is going to be sitting there from the opposing team, sitting there saying, how can we slow down this mighty Dallas Cowboys offense? On top of that, the offense from the opposing team is going to sit there and say, they got D-Law coming at me. Oh, man, then they fool around and got McCoy coming at me. Then they got a Pope. And then they got some guy named Neville Gallimore. Man, and then they do not stop this pursuit because now, oh, good old now, they got, if they reinstate Randy Gregory, they got Randy Gregory, Alden Smith. Man, this season needs to cancel before it starts because we don't want to see that every week. We don't. That's the reality of it. That is. Let me know where I'm lying at, Cowboy Nation. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to this channel. Share this thing. That's the best thing you guys can do to the nation, man, or do for the nation is help me grow. And tell a friend, a neighbor, foe where to go when they want to tune in to Cowboy Sports Talk and beyond. That's been my time. I really thank you all for yours. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Let's go. Let's go, baby. Clowney in the house, right? Clowney, y'all can let that roll off your tongue. There's one thing that I will say is that he won't be able to wear number 90. That's already taken by the laws, baby. All laws, baby. Let's go. Oh, if he do decide to come over here in Big D and he decide to take that discount 99, what number for your mind should he wear? Post that down below. Salute. I'm out. Peace.